Hello everyone, Burb here. Champions Meeting 17 is just around the corner, and this Procrastinator's Guide or Emergency Guide is meant for those who haven't even started building their aces yet. You do have a few days, so do not worry, but whether if you're a Christmas Ogre or Kapana Ricky player, we will be talking about those too, or if you don't own either of them or do not wish to play them, we will be suggesting a few other characters that I find relatively easy to build as well. We will also be going over an overview of the Champions Meeting as well rather quickly to hopefully get you started building aces in the next coming days. This is a rather tough CM. To be perfectly blunt, Christmas Ogre and Kobandareki, those two combined, are relatively powerful and above the level of power of pretty much the rest of the roster. That combined with the fact this is a dirt CM and there's not that many characters to go and fight against them, and also the fact that there's murmur debuffers to making the stats difficult that you have to account for, and dominator debuffers that you have to add extra white skills essentially to go and fight them, makes it really difficult to go and play someone other than these two characters. Now, if you don't own these characters or you don't want to play those characters, should you not play the CM? In my personal opinion, I think you should at least give it a good old college try. I don't own, I'm not going to be playing these two characters either. I have tampered my expectations that I could not make a finals if I get unlucky. I still think I have a decent shot of getting to that A finals mark. The fact of the matter is that you can go and build your Umas, and I think I built my Umas in a way that can go and high roll and beat those Christmas Ogres, even if they do hit, as long as they are able to pace up early in the match. And also, we will not be facing perfect Christmas Ogres every single time. It's the same thing that happened in Aries Cup. It was rather close to being my first B finals, but we did end up making it at the end of the day. So I do hope that you go and attempt to try to make these aces, and I'm going to attempt to go and arm you with some knowledge to get you started. Of course, the full guides are available. We will talk about that in a second. If you're wondering why this is a day early, well, if you know, you know. 10 hours and 17 minutes times 3 is 30 hours and 51 minutes, which means that if I release this tomorrow, I wouldn't have enough time before registration day to go and build all my aces. So if you're in the same position I am in, that you need this guide right now. For some reason, Medium S is really difficult for me to actually go and get. Today, I will be doing the speed run. Like I said, it's just a fun thing that I do where I try to go and do the entire CM overview in 5 minutes or less, combined with a couple things from the various different role guides. And then I will going and suggesting, I think it's 7 characters that I find rather easy, including Christmas Ogre as well. Do not worry. I think we'll be doing that as well. Like I said, I will be telling you what I think works. I will not be going and explaining why. That was reserved for the actual different role guides, if you're wondering for that, or the overview video itself. We will have time there. We do not have time now to go over that in the speed run. So without further ado, I'm going to grab a drink of water, and then I will begin the speed run. All right, you ready? Let's begin. CM17 is the Virgo Cup. It is in Sunny Good in the JBC Classic, the Oi Dirt 2000 meter track. It's right-handed fall runner, sunny days, collaborative graded races because this is a dirt track, Oi race course, standard distance, and wet conditions. The track itself is relatively unremarkable. The two things really of note is that it's completely flat, which means that there's really no downhills to go and save you if you do not have enough stamina, and that is a 777 map, which means Christmas Ogre is an absolute menace on it as well. It is also a final corner late race track and a corner track, so Dober also works, but also Agnes Takiel's Uma Squared can be used as a backup for Christmas Ogre, meaning she has a 96% chance of hitting. This is a Thanos Snap Christmas Ogre map. For stat suggestions, you want your speed as high as you possibly can get it. 1500 should be the goal. If you don't get exactly that, it's fine. It's just 1500 is really good. Remember, it's a logarithmic relationship, and you should still try to get a balance of power and wit. I've suggested to aim for 1000. If you get more than that, it's perfectly fine. If there's one stat of these two to dump, if your name is not a front runner, try to dump your wit down to 900 or 800. I find power to still be relatively useful at 1000 plus. Otherwise, there is a 901 stamina threshold, but more importantly, the actual stamina survival is around 775 for backliners and around 850-ish for frontrunners and pace chasers. So 868 is the all general stamina suggestion because it gets you to 901 when you have great mood for finals. More stamina is great because it goes and protects against debuffers. I believe I have exactly one debuffer taken into account here, but do note that Mystifying Murmur will be minus 100 stamina. You will not be getting hit by a full Nice Nature Streak very often because most people are 5-6-4ing because Goldship now has a gun. You can 5-6-4 a Murmur, you can 5-6-4 a Dominator or a Kenai. I personally think the Dominator strategy is better, but people are trying to Mystifying Murmur and hope that another person does it as well for 4 gold debuffs, and you should go and take that into account. But at the end of the day, if you build enough stamina, you are perfectly fine against that. For front runners, you're getting Angling and Scheming, and then you're getting your late race followed by your mid race Inherits because you have a lot of mid race skill options to have that can go and fill that mid race out. For late surges and end closers, you are getting Moving Past and Beyond from Measure Dober, and you can get Ryan. It's going to be rather tough with all the debuffers lying around. For pace chasers, you don't really have a primary acceleration option from your parents itself, so any backliner, pace chaser, late surger, end closer should consider grabbing a late race ultimate of some kind to go and help them get their late race. At the end of the day, there is a lot of skills available if you're building your parents, a lot that you can supplement whatever you need, whatever you want, as long as you build them good enough. For primary accelerations in general, everyone can kind of get Forward March. That is the dirt one. You can get your Ignited Spirit powers, stuff like that to supplement, but those are secondary accelerations and are generally weaker timings than the primary accelerations for the different roles. Angling and Scheming for front is guaranteed for first place. You can get Second Wind as a secondary. You do need something in order to go and supplement and hopefully hit a 0.4. 0.2 will probably not be enough on its own. Pace chasers are kind of relying mainly on Nimble Navigator and Head On, both those two whites. Grabbing the gold neck and neck would be the more favorable of the two to grab, but if you are running a No Stopping Me character, just grab No Stopping Me and Head On. You can go and survive with 2 white skills like this and get like some level of general skills like Forward March, Ignited Spirit, Wit, etc. Late surgers and end closes have a lot of acceleration options. They still have the nimble navigators that pace chasers do. It procs rather reliably, but late surgers in particular do have On Your Left, which is a very, very good timing skill. This with the buff on 7-1. On Your Left basically acts like it's a sprint track. It's a 1,200 meter track essentially on previous timing, now 2,400 meters. It hits about 1 out of every 2 times and gives you significant value about 1 out of every 3 times. Take the Chance is a clone of On Your Left, but it's medium bound, which means it can be used on both end closers and late surgers. Moving Past and Beyond is probably the other 0.2 that you go and pair with this, along with any other generals that you wish to have. You kind of, as a backliner, are aiming for 0.6 to hopefully go and fight against those Christmas Auguries that are hitting 0.3. For some cards, you generally are looking more for stats than you are for skills, but in general, Agnes Tachyon is very powerful, and Light Hello is a near must-have. Super Creek is your friend if you do own the card 3LB+, because it gives you a gold recovery in Swinging Maestro, but also gives you probably some of the highest stamina taps and training effectiveness in the game. This is a very powerful card in this because we require stamina and we require a gold recovery of some point. You don't necessarily need this. You can go and use the new free Biwa card that is slightly behind as well and doesn't give you that gold recovery, but it is usable, and you can use the Toshin Jordan speed card as an example for Breath of Fresh Air on an Aguma-sen, to be fair. To go and supplement something similar. You ideally would want to go the 3 speed and 2 wit route, but we are finding out we are not able to get any amount of stamina required with that deck on like 90% of characters. So the 2 speed, 2 wit, 1 stamina, and Light Hello deck seems to be rather similar to what we are going to, that's what I'm going to suggest, let's say. Now, if you are more free to play, again, you just replace with whatever card you had. Fuku Wit is very good because it does give you right-handed as well. Fine Motion is just a green hint machine as well. Stuff around that you have, again, Sweep Tosho for speed. Any SR card that you think has high initial friendship gauge, high specialty priority, and high friendship bonus is generally going to be good. So, like I said, Shinko Wendy, like your Sweep Tosho. For wit cards, you have Machikane Fukukitaru, you have Daiwa Scarlet Wit, stuff like that, and Super Creek, or the Biwa card that is the event card, try to hit that MLB, or even stuff like Cafe Zeno Rabroy can work as well for SR options. Again, this is a stats over skills. You can go and add some white skills through your parents, but your stats are going to be really important. So you may even consider in your parents running those 3-star stamina blues over getting a perfectly set white skill list. Okay, so getting that stats up are going to be really the primary way that you go and are able to win. You really only need to hit your excel plus enough late race and mid race skills to hopefully go and make up that gap. Characters with speed and stamina bonus will help a lot. And for your role tier list, Christmas O'Gurry and Kopana Ricky are going to be the two most powerful characters on this. They are above everyone else. Right now, it seems like end closers are above late surges, but that's probably because the people who are building end closers know what they're doing, because it is much more difficult to build them. But end closers and late surges have the gambling options required to go and high roll and fight against Christmas O'Gurry and Kopana Ricky. Front runners are just tougher to build. They do have a decent chance of winning, but pace chasers that are not Kopana Ricky and Christmas O'Gurry have the same problem of having very high stamina requirements and not much payoff compared to the other roles. Christmas O'Gurry and Kopana Ricky have roughly a 4.5 length advantage over the field for free, because you generally need the recoveries for Christmas O'Gurry anyways for Festive Miracle, and Luck Run My Way will go and hit about 40% of the time and give you speed carryover plus acceleration leak as well. These two characters are rather powerful, and it does hit. Christmas O'Gurry will hit around 97% of the time at 1300 wit, or 96% of the time around 1000 wit as well. For ease of building, the easiest one is Christmas O'Gurry. Kopana Ricky when she doesn't get absolutely every single green. Late surges and end closers. Kopana Ricky if you get all the greens. Front runners, and then finally pace chasers, I think, are the most difficult because of the bearing of skills you need to require to get to the level of the other roles. That's the speed run. I may have gone a bit over. I think I went to 7 minutes or so, but here we are. 4 characters. I'm going to grab one more drink. For characters, we will talk about the big two, which are Christmas O'Gurry. She is Dirt B. Remember, you do need a Dirt Spark. How you play this character generally is that you buy Gourmand in kit, you buy 777 in kit, you take an Agnes Tachyon parent to try to get your backup recovery for the situations where you're in 3rd and 4th. That will go and bridge the gap and make you have 96% efficiency if you are actually getting proper positioning. There is also any other guaranteed corner straight soft step recovery will make it so that you will have the 3 recoveries required. I don't think you need any more than these 4 recoveries, because you are trying to go and make O'Gurry Cap as consistent as possible. Otherwise, you would rather want to run pretty much any character that is a gambler. I don't think you should be gambling on Christmas O'Gurry Cap. You should go and make this your anchor, and if you really want to gamble, make 2 other characters that are gambler to fill in the gaps. Festive Miracle is stupidly powerful, and she does have speed and stamina bonus, which are really powerful in this particular dirt track that has really high stamina requirements. Kopana Ricky is basically a harder version of Christmas O'Gurry for a different reason. You're kind of collecting greens instead of collecting recoveries. It's harder to collect 6 greens than it is to collect 3 recoveries, of which 2 are given to you for Christmas O'Gurry, and 3 greens are given to you in Kopana Ricky. You can front her, you can also pace chaser, you can also late surger her, but I suggest the pace chaser position because there's 3 greens built in, and she doesn't necessarily need too much. You can run her front runner, that is very good as well. You are technically slower in that position, but you do get angling and scheming to supplement when your ultimate does hit. Luck Run My Way is an acceleration leak, so if it procs early timing, it will not go and speed carry over. And you do get from Light Hello, you have the option of getting Front Runner Savvy to supplement this Pace Chaser Savvy. Otherwise, you have so many dirt skills in kit that they can kind of supplement either anyways. So I think that the Pace Chaser still is the easy build version of it as well. 20% wit means a lot of times you will probably drop down to you probably go and just run 1 wit card with fine motion or 2 wit cards and try to hit your speed with as much speed as possible. Your only free-to-play option that I'm going to suggest is My Auto Top Gun in pretty much any role that you wish. The difficulty with this character is Dirt E, which means you need 4 parents worth of dirt in order to get that to Dirt A, or you gamble on a couple of pink sparks. The reason why I'm suggesting this character is that basically it's the only 2-star character that has any level of aptitudes that isn't named El Condor Pasa, who doesn't have an ultimate. So Flashy Landing, which may proc or may not proc, at least My Auto Top Gun gives you a innate gold recovery and no stopping me. If you are a Pasa player that you enjoy playing Pasa, know that your ultimate will also probably not work, but you do have an innate gold recovery. But My semi-auto top gun, I think takes the top slot, because no stopping me means that in any backline position, late surger and closer pace chaser, you can at least go and run NSM plus whatever head on or slick surge or whatever you're able to grab. I think she's relatively easy to build comparatively to the rest of the roster if you're able to get your dirt sparks up, and the 20% stamina bonus is going to help you hit stamina requirements against those murmurs as well. So you really are just trying to high roll your speed, try to go from there. All the characters that aren't at Christmas Auguria, Kopana Riki, like I said, they have a disadvantage, but they can still win. If you're a front runner, probably running the yellow Smart Falcon this particular time because it does give you a half gold recovery for free, as well as gives you your secondary acceleration to go and pair with angling and scheming. You also come with a suite of pretty much every single dirt skill in the game that you will ever need, along with prudent positioning. Of course, Pink Smart Falcon gives you pretty much the same suite of skills, except instead of her the bonus acceleration, you now have 3 greens for your groundwork. So she is rather powerful as well. Both Smart Falcons are very good. A lot of people have the pink one. I think the yellow one is slightly better, but the stat pressure makes it so that 10% power bonus might help you out just a little bit. So either Smart Falcon is suggested if you're playing front runner. For late surger, I suggest Agnes Digital. She has a lot of different dirt skills. Like I said, she has lead the charge, which means you can take forward march, which is the white version of it because it's only an additional 0.1 for the gold unless you have a ton of skill points. Otherwise, you come with mid straights. You have an event for late, other way around. You have late straights. You can get medium straights. You can get stuff like home stretch haste if it rolls, or rapid gain if you add an extra race, which you're probably not. But the big thing on this character is super stan and her stat spread. She has speed, power, and stamina bonus, and a tiny bit of wit as well. This is just very useful because you are running a rather balanced deck that is pressing speed, wit, and stamina in general, so everything is going to be amplified. OMG the Final Sprint is very powerful late race. It's technically slightly worse than Triumph Impulse, but due to the other parts of her kit that are very, very strong, I think that she is possibly one of the best late surgers in the game. You just kind of want to put on your left or from the brink whatever you can on her. You don't need too much because you do have lead the charge if everything else does fail. OG Oguri Cap is also a very good option. It is Dirt B, like I said. Agnes Digital does have natively Dirt A. With the Dirt B, you do need 1 Dirt Spark, like I said, and she does not give you very much. But if you have been parent building and you do have a lot of skills, a lot of white skills to throw on Oguri Cap, she does not need much in order to go and be really good. You can get Nimble Navigator plus on your left, and that's usually enough acceleration. Anything else past that is bonus. You kind of just grab that plus Dober Alt. Triumph Impulse is a good skill. It is one of the best skills, and because there's a ton of debuffers in the back half of the pack, a lot of times it is you, the Christmas Oguri, and the Kopana Riki will be in the top 5. You will proc Triumph Impulse, and Triumph Impulse will go and steal you a bunch of wins. Inari 1 can be run as late surger, I know that, but of all the characters, this is the one that I would suggest for end closers if you do own her, because Master of the Sands does have a good chance of proccing, and it is basically a speed skill strapped onto a gold recovery. So innate gold recovery with an extra bonus speed that's very, very efficient. Now we're cruising is basically a Triumph Impulse on a duel. You are basically dueling in the situations where you're winning anyways, so it's very, very powerful. And she comes with all the enclosure skills that you pretty much need with the gold skills as well. You probably just skip on Eager with all the debuffers. It's less prio. Tail 9 is what she has above the rest of the pack. So her and Digi and Tamamo Cross, if you really wish to go and do that dirt aptitude, have mid-race skills that put them above the rest of the pack, that really help them out in the early to mid race. Now, the end closer advantage, I didn't mention this in the guide, but in the quick guide, but in the longer guide, you would know the end closer position is better only if you want faster speed in the late race, which means you need less late race skills, and you need Darren Strike. So if you have Mr. CB, you can go and run an end closer. Otherwise, I would suggest just running late surger and just going and grabbing things like on your left, because you're going to have a little bit of problems going and grabbing acceleration on ends. As a little bonus, Yukino Bijin is releasing rather shortly, and if you do wish to build her, I didn't put her in the guide itself because I don't necessarily like quick building Umas. She isn't particularly powerful, but she is just an option for pace chaser. She does have no stopping me in kit, so basically run like you would a Mayano Top Gun. You do have 10% speed to help out instead of 20% stamina to go and help you out. Otherwise, she's just a dirt B character that is just good. Like, she's perfectly fine. She hits no stopping me, and she hopefully goes and wins from there. You hit point 4, the Crystal Curry hits point 3, and hopefully you are locked in step with more late race. So, is this one of the toughest CMs with the most restrictive and highest meta implications? Yep. Will it get better? Yepers. The next CM is a Mile CM. It's not particularly a Christmas Oguri map, I don't believe. There's less stamina requirements. Pretty much everything that we're having problems with this Champions meeting. The next Champions meeting is a nice breath of fresh air. It's going to be a lot better. So if you get frustrated with this one, know that you do have a little break with the next CM. Champions meeting 19, I know a lot of people are talking about, is another Christmas Oguri map that is really, really tough. The difference between that and this one is that that one is turf and this one is dirt, which means you can at least go and try to win with the characters that you actually go and enjoy. So that's the big difference, is that that one, you can go and run your Oshis on that one. And when Oshis win, even if they only win 4 times, like I've had my ticket win only 4 times many times, those 4 times we cherish above all the rest. I give a word of caution with this CM. This CM is probably the hardest one we're going to do in Grand Live. It really is. But go and give yourself a good chance at it. Even if it's just passable Umas, I think there's still value in seeing how meta is going to affect it, because we're going to have situations like this in the future where there is a dominant character or two, and you are going to encounter them. This is one of the harder ones where they're going to be encountering them quite often due to hindsight and due to the power of the characters, but from there, just try to have fun. Don't get worked up about it. We can't control the meta in this one. So this has been the Procrastinator's Guide. I hope it's been at least somewhat useful. If you want to check the full guides, go right ahead. Again, it's like 2.5 hours of content of just me talking about the CM. Completely understand if that's not your cup of tea. That's why I make this video as well. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this has been at all helpful. I know I've been a bit all over the place. To be honest, this is like recording number 7. So I've been having trouble recording this for some reason. I don't know why. So take care, everyone, and burb out.